In this lesson, we're going to learn about another property of multiplication called the distributive property. The distributive property states that multiplying a sum by a number is the same as multiplying each addend by the number and then adding the products. Let's look at what that means. Let's multiply 4 times 8. Now, to use the distributive property, step 1 says to make a model to find 4 times 8. Use square tiles to build an array. So I'm going to do that. I've got some tiles up here. Now 4 times 8 means 4 groups of 8. So I'm going to start by building one group of 8 with tiles. I'm going to make one row, one group. 6, 7, 8. Okay, now I need 4 groups of 8. So I'm going to copy and paste. That's 2, 3, 4 groups of 8. Now that's a lot to count. So let's move on to step 2. Oh, before we do that, let's label our dimensions. So we have here that the width of our array is 4. And here we can see that it is 8 tiles wide. So this is a 4 by 8 array. Now break the array to make 2 smaller arrays for products you know. Now I don't know 4 times 8 off the top of my head, but I do know my 5s, and if I do 4 times 5, I know that that's 20. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going to change the color of these. Let's make them green. So now you can see I've got 2 different arrays now. I broke my 8 into 5, and I'm going to change my 5 to green to show that it goes with the green array. And also this is a 4 by 3 array, and I'm going to change that to purple. Now, I started with this expression, 4 times 8. But then to use the distributive property, I realized, you know what, I can write this as 4 times 5 plus 3. Because 8 is really the same thing as 5 plus 3. So this expression here, 4 times 8, has the exact same value as this, 4 times 5 plus 3. The 8 is just decomposed into 5 and 3. Now, the distributive property says that if I multiply this 4 times 5, that will tell me how many tiles are in this green array because I have 4 groups of 5. I would write this like this, 4 times 5. And that's my green array. So I'm going to change that font to green. Plus, now my purple array, it is 4 groups of, oops, I just noticed a mistake. There we go. So this is 5 and 3. You probably noticed that already. Okay, so now this purple array is actually 4 by 3. And let me stretch this out. So now I can take this. This is why it's called the distributive property. This 4 times, or 4 groups of, is distributed to the 5 to give me 4 groups of 5. And it's also distributed to the 3 to give me 4 groups of 3. So this means that the value of 4 times 5 plus 3 is the same as 4 groups of 5 and 4 groups of 3, and we can see it here in this picture. Now, I know 4 times 5 because I know my 5s very well, and so I know that 4 groups of 5 is 20. And I'm going to change that green to show that that's the number of tiles in my green array. And I'm going to add that to the value of 4 times 3, or 4 groups of 3. And I know that, in fact, it's 12. So I can see here that the value of 4 times 8 is the same as 20 plus 12, and that, I can tell, is 32. So let's review. Step 1, make a model to find 4 times 8. Use square tiles to build an array. Step 2 is break apart the array to make 2 smaller arrays for products you know. And then step 3 is what we did over here with our numbers. We use the distributive property to show the sum of 2 products. And we did that here, 4 times 5 plus 4 times 3. And then we solved it to get our 32.